What is going on, fight fans? So we had to do this video because there's a lot of people in my comment section that act like they don't know. Once again, early reports are coming in by WON on Terence Crawford versus Israel Madrimov pay-per-view buys. It should wind up over 75,000 and maybe around 100,000 with the streaming buys. Now, this is from Jed Goodman, he was an executive on Combat Sports, and he's an insider and communicates directly with a lot of these executives and producers of these events. And some of the numbers have been presented by him from other sources telling him. So WON is the one that told him for this one. So he went ahead and gave those numbers that they gave to him. What was the prediction that we put here using data-driven prediction? We said anywhere from 85,000 to around 175,000 pay-per-view buys using data. Once again, we are correct here on Boxing Fanatico. And I have to do this video. I normally don't do this, but there's every time I'm doing these videos, they get a lot of views, right? They get way more views than when I talk about other things. Because people are like, this is BS. No one can know the numbers before he's just clickbaiting you. Let's look at all of the numbers that I've gotten correct. And by the way, I've had people say, you got to stop doing this, Fanatico. You were way off on the Ryan Garcia versus Haney numbers. The Ryan Garcia versus Haney numbers have not dropped. They've never officially dropped. We've only had one time where Ryan was like, oh, this is how much it did. But then on the flip side, Haney was like, well, if it did that much, well, why am I not getting paid that back end percentage for that? And Oscar was like, well, the fight just didn't sell. So if it did 500,000, like it was stated by Ryan Garcia, which was not official, then Haney would be getting that back end, because how can Haney not sell when 500,000 is literally leading it's a leading number in today's boxing market. Canelo does 500,000, sometimes even less, right? So that's a high number. But if you remember in the Mario Lopez and I believe Steve Kim podcast, they said it did around 250,000 pay-per-views. Right on the mark of what we predicted here. We have now predicted the Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis fight correctly. Over 1 million pay-per-view buys. We said over 1 million when people said that was impossible. We predicted that correctly. We also we actually predicted that data-driven almost a year before the fight happened. Crazy. If you don't believe me, right here. All right. Then we also predicted Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. We predicted it was going to be within a certain range of around 650,000 to around 750,000. We got that correct. We predicted that on our live stream literally 2 days after, using data driven for that pay-per-view. We also predicted Tank. What was the other ones that we predicted? Man, we were just going ham on the pay-per-view data-driven predictions. But we got to do this video, man, because y'all got to start putting respect on Boxing Fanatico's name in terms of our data-driven predictions, because we get them right every single time. What's the other one we predicted correctly? There was another one. What was it? Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia. We predicted that one correctly using data. And who else did we predict correctly? Tank versus Frank Martin. We predicted that correctly using data. You can watch the videos, look at the timestamps. My predictions come 2 days, sometimes 1 day after the fight, where it's impossible that they don't even know what the numbers are yet. And we are already saying what the numbers are before they put the numbers together to be able to start bringing those numbers out. So we know the numbers way before they know the numbers. So these are all of the predictions that I've predicted right here. I'm going to pop them up on the screen. They've all been correct. They've all been correct. Look at the dates on all of these. They've all been correct. Can y'all start putting respect on my style of predicting pay-per-view numbers after the pay-per-views and sometimes even before the pay-per-views, just using data-driven. Guys, I'm a content creator that's really heavy on data and analytics. That's how I was able to grow multiple channels. I don't just have this one. I have multiple channels because of my obsession and my understanding of extrapolating data, right? So I could look at certain things, see how much engagement it has, kind of curve that based off of anomalies or axioms that come into place, like people stealing the stream. I look at how much do people steal streams percentage wise. I look at the amount of people that steal streams depending on how much does it do on pay-per-view. I use those numbers. I look at how much people do hashtags and stuff, and I look at those numbers. I analyze what the numbers are for the pre fight build-up stuff, like the weigh-ins, the press conferences, and all these different things. I analyze those numbers. The 24/7 episodes, I analyze those numbers and I put them all together and I come up with a strategic pay-per-view prediction, guys. I'm not just going, I feel like a lot of you guys just think that I'm like, well, I don't like Crawford, and because I don't like Crawford, he did 125,000 pay-per-view. Are any of y'all like this dude, or this dude gonna come back in here and say, yo, he was right? No. What y'all gonna do is the next time I do another pay-per-view prediction, y'all gonna come in there and say, well, nobody knows the numbers until someone tells us the number. He is just clickbaiting, and y'all not gonna watch the video. Y'all not gonna understand that I'm getting these numbers not from thin air because this is how I feel. I'm getting these numbers from data. How can I be right on every single pay-per-view prediction? How is that possible? That would be impossible, right? Impossible, because it's not flipping a coin. These are exact numbers. Obviously, I'm giving you a range because even when they get the pay-per-view numbers directly handed to them, it's still a range. They still don't know. But stop coming into my channel when y'all don't know what the heck y'all talking about, trying to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about with these pay-per-view numbers. I'm not going to just do this for clickbait. I'm not. Do I understand that gives me a advantage? Yes. But it's an advantage that comes from hard work of looking at these numbers before I put the numbers out. And I'm very cautious on how I do this because it's either going to be something that's very positive for people or it's going to be something that's very bring negativity towards people. But every single pay-per-view prediction that I have done using data has been correct. The only one that we don't know for sure, although an insider, Mario Lopez and Steve Kim, although they said it on their podcast, 250,000 was how much it sold. And we don't know for sure. That's the only one. And it's only because we don't know for sure. And if Steve Kim and Mario Lopez is correct of what they said in terms of the numbers, then that would mean that we predicted that one correctly as well. Can y'all stop disrespecting? Put more respect on this Boxing Fanatico channel, man. At least in terms of the pay-per-view predictions. I know a lot of y'all be so salty because y'all fan hungry, right? Y'all love y'all fighters. The fact that people, if you even watch this channel for more than just one video or two videos, you will know that Crawford is one of my favorite fighters, period. I will have no reason to want to put a false number to just create a negative outlook on Crawford. If anything, I was hoping that the numbers were going to be high, but I can't pretend that the numbers are going to be high because that's disingenuous to the audience. And the number one thing that I'm trying to do here on this channel is be completely different from every other boxing channel where they base everything on propaganda and everything is based on, oh, I'm just going to say the good things about the fighters that I like and all bad things about fighters that I don't like. I won't report on good things. I'll only report on bad things. If I don't like the fighter, if I like the fighter, I'll only report on good things and not bad things. I'm not doing that. I'm giving you a straight shooting channel where you could be comfortable knowing that I'm telling you the truth and I'm not trying to pretend, right? I love Crawford. He's one of my favorite fighters. I still have to be honest about those numbers. And again, boom, 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 boom. Look at the numbers. Look at the dates. We get them right every single time. If y'all gonna come in this channel, y'all gotta start respecting the pay-per-view data-driven predictions. Not hope, not feelings, not gut feeling, data-driven predictions. Now, these aren't 100% fully confirmed, but more than likely WON is a reliable source, and that is around the way of where it's going to probably land, because of course we already did the data-driven predictions. And on top of that, Kevin Lowe already said that a lot of money was lost in the sense of the negligible pay-per-view buys. Probably going to put it around that number right there. So now, does this mean Terence Crawford cannot sell? I do not believe that this means that Terence Crawford cannot sell. I do believe that Terence Crawford does need a dance partner, somebody that's somewhat known at least, for him to be able to pull off a good pay-per-view buy number. He's not going to be able to pull it off on his own. Heck, I think Tank pulls it off on his own, and he doesn't even pull it off on his own, because there's always like something that gives Tank an edge. Rolly Romero was kind of famous in social media, right? He had the sparring session with Ryan Garcia that kind of gave him some hype, right? He's also like a talker, and he's also like a caricature in boxing, so that gave him a leg up. Hector Garcia is a Dominican fighter with the last name Garcia, right? So like just that little bit could give you an edge, right? It could give you an edge, especially if you're trying to fight Ryan Garcia and you fight a Hector Garcia. There you go, right? It does little things to trick casuals or to make casual fans come and watch the fight. Plus, he has some star power. He's not going to do it all on his own, though. I guarantee you, if he ever fights the, I don't even remember the name of the dude that has that fourth belt. I guarantee you, if he fights if he doesn't fight Lomachenko, who has the WBA belt, WBO belt, if he doesn't fight Shakur Stevenson, who has the WBC belt, and he has the WBA belt, if he goes for the IBF belt, and it ain't one of those guys, he's going to be struggling. He's going to be struggling on pay-per-view numbers as well. Although, again, he's the Mike Tyson of this time, where people come to see the show. They don't come to see the competition. They come to see the Tank Davis show. So he can sell on that prowess, but he still does a little things to make sure that he gives himself a good position to get good pay-per-view numbers. All right, guys. Are we going to start respecting that? Am I going to have to deal with going into the comment section and deal with a bunch of people having to explain to them how I got these numbers every single time? Telling people, yo, watch the video. Can you just watch the video? Can you just watch the video? Are we going to start respecting? Are we going to start respecting Boxing Fanatico? Come on now. Until the next one. We had to do this. I never do the toot your own horn video, but this is like the 6th video where I did these predictions where they've all been right, and people still come on the 7th video. On the next video that I do my prediction, I guarantee you there's gonna be people coming in there. Oh, now he clickbaiting. There ain't no way he know the number right now. They ain't even tell nobody the number, so we're going to get that, man. We're going to get that. So I got to make this video just so that I could at least have a video to link and send it to them. Watch this if you have any more questions. If you don't think this prediction is going to come out to be true, watch this video. All right. Rant over. Peace out, guys.